What if AI doesn't take our jobs away, but something else does? And what if we lose our ability to create? The word brain rot was voted Oxford 2024 Word of the Year, describing the overconsumption of low-quality, meaningless online content leading to a decline in a person's mental, cognitive, and intellectual states. If you like to witness brain rot in action, just check out a series of Skip the Toilet videos. With no real meanings or plot, yet its AI creator has racked up 37 million subscriptions and 65 billion views in just under 2 years on YouTube. Impressive, isn't it? On one hand, we should congratulate the creator for his phenomenal success. But on the other, it raises one serious question. What do we value when we give our attention? Researchers at Stanford has found that constantly engaging with online platform doesn't just weaken our memories and attention span, but it shrinks the gray matter inside of our brain. Every moment when we engage with social media platform, AI is hijacking our dopamine, vulnerabilities to keep us scrolling, all in the name of engagement. It doesn't care if we learn or grow. It only cares that we stay, prioritizing profits over well-being. Today, the most valuable business are not selling products. They are selling attention. Why? Because our attention is worth billions. Now, if this is a business model of the future and how we let algorithm to lead our lives, what will be left of our minds? Every moment we give in to impulse to scroll, we lose control over deliberate thinking. And it's our very ability to regulate our minds and to think critically that have set human beings apart from other species throughout evolution. In the age of AI, self-regulation is no longer optional, it is necessary. But one thing we must understand is in order to self-regulate, we must become self-aware first. In my 13 years of coaching, that I can tell you that self-awareness is something people need the most in order to transform. But yet, it's something people invest the least time in. And largely due to people's underestimation on what self-awareness brings. Many assume that thinking equals being aware, without knowing the researchers has found that up to 90% of our daily actions are subconscious-led, meaning autopilot mode. Without intentional self-awareness practice such as mindfulness and deep reflection, that we are prone for being stuck in autopilot mode, repeating the same behaviors, patterns, and beliefs. The positive benefits of self-regulation go beyond just mastering the mind. Dr. Alan Taylor, the American-based researcher who spent the past 50 years studying and researching and advocating for brain care, emphasizes the vital skill that self-awareness brings throughout every stage of the process leading up to self-actualization. In other words, becoming the best version of ourselves. And in business, Cornell University has identified the self-awareness as the #1 predictor for leadership success. And last year, Harvard and Oxford did a piece of study, and they found the top 100 companies in employee wellness, such as investing in coaching and self-awareness, have significantly outperformed major stock indexes. The good news is that self-awareness is a skill that we can all learn and develop. And the question is, where do we start? Now, being someone who was born and raised in the Far East, Eastern philosophy and mindfulness have always been part of me. But growing up, I was never too bothered. Every school holiday, I'd spend some time with my grandparents. And every morning, without fail, they'd play this sleepy meditation music using a very old-fashioned cassette player in the 80s. And raise your hands if you ever seen or touched a cassette player in your life. Most of the Gen Z probably haven't. Me and my cousin were really mean, would run really fast to the other rooms and turn up the volume of our favorite cartoons instead. because it's just more fun to keep our mind stimulated. And what happened was I managed to escape that, but I schooled randomly one day that my very first teacher, when I was about 10, decided to lead us through a very short meditation class. And even until this day, I remember where I sat and how that made me feel. Because in less than 5 minutes, she's transformed the entire class from this hyper monkey mode to chill out sloth mode. And it was the very first time that I tasted the power of breathing and keeping the mind still on the mental level. But then life went on, and like many people in their 20s, I started goal chasing. External validations, money, recognitions, fancy titles, fancy lifestyles, until I became quite unhappy. So one summer I went back home and I visited my grandparents, and the cassette player was still spinning in the backgrounds. But I couldn't help but ask her why on earth she played those sleepy music every single individual day. And without hesitation, she responded literally in 5 words: for my peace of mind. At that moment, I felt really dumb. More than embarrassment, I just felt really dumb because I felt I wasted so many years chasing for stuff, but yet I haven't shown my humility to learn how my mind works. And there she was, my grandma, as wise as she was. And by the way, she never finished her high school. But yet, she's one of the most disciplined, generous, and fearless person that I knew. Her peace of mind has given her the clarity that she wasn't scared of anything, not even death. And in contrast, there I was, living in fear, constantly doubting myself and worrying about what the future brings every second. So that day, I made sure that I heard her, and I decided I was going to take some actions to master my mind. So very gradually, in the last 20 years, I've reached out to thought leaders and teachers who have mastered the topic of self-awareness. And did you know what I found? The people who have truly mastered their minds are some of the monks. Now, the monks master their minds like no one else. They can get up the same time, eat the same food, follow the same routines day after day. I was confused when I first interacted with them because I couldn't understand why they were so present, but yet so detached. And how were they so just not worrying about everything else out there? And yet, we were constantly living in the monsters in our heads. So, following my curiosity, then I decided to deepen my practice. I spent my Christmas with the Cistercian nuns and the Trappist monks community. I learned and taught yoga and meditation. I chanted the Hare Krishna mantra. I had long dialogues with the Buddhist and Taoist monks. And what I found, actually beyond all the religions and beyond all the philosophies, the monks actually share 3 simple mindsets to help them mastering themselves. They have completely rewired the neuroplasticity in their brain that they know what to think and how to think. And today, I'd love to share those 3 things with you, which I truly believe will help you master your mind in the age of AI, but also in pursuit of inner success. The first piece of mindset is derived from the Chinese philosopher, very famous saying, reversal is the way. 反者道之动. Through his observations in nature and matter, he has found that our universe operates in the opposite. Life and death, day and night, winter and summer, all working together to maintain harmony. So similarly in life, if we keep pushing towards one direction without stopping to pause or reflect, we throw ourselves off course. In the world of constantly goal-chasing and distractions, the monks understand the true wisdom lies in turning inwards. So in our day, and life, stop and pause. Practice a piece of mindfulness and spending time in nature, doing deep reflection, and that will help you to revive your energy and cultivate a better sense of self-awareness. The second piece of mindset is from the Indian philosophy, the Bhagavad Gita. It is believed that focus on making the efforts, but stay detached from the outcome. Now, how many of us every day get disappointed when things don't go your way? If you're making the efforts towards a goal because you love it, you're excited about it, your curiosity driving you for it, then enjoy the process of it. But if we're making effort towards a goal for external validation, excessive desires, recognitions, then your greed will eventually deplete you. Ultimately, self-regulation teaches us to recognize when we're acting out of genuine interest versus excessive desire. Now, the monks created successful brands like these. They focus on the creative process itself, but staying detached from the outcome. And the third piece of mindset is that emotions inform but do not control, because emotions are temporary, but habits last. In other words, self-regulation are not controlled by emotions. Even when we don't feel like it, we do what is necessary. Self-regulation creates motivation, but not vice versa. The monks are up by 5 a.m. every morning. They don't stay in bed and think about, shall I get up or shall I don't? They simply just do it. Because they understand that building self-regulation is a bit like building on your muscles. And the more consciously we regulate our practice, and the more disciplined that it becomes. And now you're probably thinking, well, thank you very much for your tips, but I'm not a monk. What am I going to do with your tips? But did you know that these mindsets are borrowed and practiced by so many people, and including some of these very successful entrepreneurs? Warren Buffett is known for staying detached from business losses and gains and knowing that discipline yields long-term results. Steve Jobs and Jack Dorsey practice Eastern philosophy and deep thinking to help them enhance productivity and focus. Because they all understand that it's true that AI may bring abundance, but without wisdom, it can also take your power away. AI can create 1 billion things in a second. It can write, it can design, it can forecast, it can even predict. But there's one thing it can never do, that's how you engage with your mind. In a world of infinite automation, the real danger is not that AI will replace us. The real danger is we forget to think for ourselves. Now you're probably thinking, she's a hippie. She hangs out with the monks. She must be anti-AI. No, I'm not. I'm an AI pro. Now do I use AI in multiple languages on a daily basis? I'm also a ChatGPT user since the very beginning. Because there's no contradiction between mastering your mind and embracing modern technology. The ancient wisdom from the East reminds us that the mind is our best friend, but also its worst enemy. If you don't manage your mind, then something else may control you. Algorithms, distractions, and endless noise. And the choice is yours. Thank you.